Welcome to Art for Film's Sake. I'm Stephen Reed, and this is The Fifth Element by Chris Skinner. One word describes both Luc Besson's film and this dazzlingly detailed masterpiece. Wow. As we know, the 1997 epic sci-fi romp is a full-on garish extravaganza with a plotline that sweeps the galaxy, a timeline that spans centuries, and a cast that runs to thousands. Star Wars on acid, as it was once memorably described. It's divided critics and audiences alike ever since. But despite its shrill tone, even the film's detractors wouldn't deny the sheer exuberance it has to offer. And what an abundance of major talent there is. Besson gets on board legendary comic book artists Jean Mobius Girard and Jean-Claude Mézières to design the fantastical creatures and gaudy sets. Enlists fashion guru Jean-Paul Gaultier to create every costume, and drafts in hundreds of CGI artists and tech specialists to make it all work. Which must have posed a daunting question for Skinner. How do you do justice to such a visual tour de force in a poster? What the artist cleverly does is to put the star of the show front and centre. Not Gary Oldman, Bruce Willis or Milla Jovovich, but the 2263 version of New York City itself. Of all the locations in the film, the futuristic metropolis with its flying vehicles and its deep, vertigo-inducing canyons is perhaps the best remembered and most impressive. It's a dizzying cityscape of mile-high skyscrapers, gigantic ads, teeming traffic and swarming citizens. Interestingly, in the actual shooting, Besson used a combination of live action, scale models and CGI. But with so many moving parts, any animation would have taken forever by hand. So he came up with something called particle systems, which meant that when his cars changed speed, the animation changes were automatic. The algorithms took care of it all. I wonder if Chris Skinner took a similar mathematical approach when rendering this beauty. I mean, there's so much going on in this scene. The amount of detail could drive a person crazy just working out where each film reference should go. There's Lilu doing her memorable skydive. Diva Plava Laguna looking down on us from a skyscraper. The Asian junk delivering its fast food. An ad for Zorg's hilarious over-the-top weaponry. I love the reference to the red button, as well as glancing references to Corbin Dallas's smoking habit, Father Vito Cornelius and his hapless assistant, the Mangalores, and of course, Chris Tucker's Ruby Rod and his harem. In fact, there's so much packed into this poster, I'm pretty sure there are some references I haven't spotted yet. Maybe one day I'll find Wally hiding somewhere in here too. It's a brightly coloured composition which echoes Besson's choice to avoid the dimly lit planets and gloomy spaceship corridors, all too common in this genre, and to shoot instead in broad daylight in what he called a cheerfully crazy approach. Skinner reflects this vivid comic book style in his poster. In a knowing nod to the opening sequence of the film, he also renders the titles and credits in an ancient Egyptian hieroglyphic feel. All in all, the print is indicative of the mind-boggling levels of control and detail that must have gone into the making of the actual film. Speaking of which, I must confess I'm not a big fan. I find its plot predictable and its dialogue hokey. That said, I can only admire the time, effort and skill that went into its creation and what is undeniably a spectacular piece of work. Looking again at this superb poster and the fantastical futuristic world it's drawing me into, I also think, wow, what a story it seems to promise. And let's be honest, isn't that what a good film poster should do?